Welcome, 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 one and welcome all back to the Jaguar Wright Effect. Whether you're over there just kicking it or whether you're at the show, welcome one, welcome all. I am Jaguar Wright, and today I want to start with a song. For me, I kind of consider it more like a testimony of how dead on balls accurate I usually am. For those who are Sabbath keepers like myself, Shabbat Shalom, and please consider this weekend wrap up um almost a sermon because we're going to be talking about a lot of truth and about a lot of lies. And I can't wait to get into it. Let's start with this musical rendition. It's called The Turn Up. For those who are a part of Jag Nation who know it, oh well, please feel free to sing along. No different than a hymn at a revival. With me.
Everybody always wanna know what my life is really like. So listen.
First, my name Jaguar. Don't address me different. I don't know you from a can of paint, son. My enemy can be your personal choice. Don't lace up till it's time to run. Ain't scared, never been scared, gon' be scared, and that's a fact, yeah. You should be questioning me. Truly, I've always been a fact, yeah. I'm not a narcissistic thirst bucket, no, just self-aware. Aware you've been thinking about me too much. Time to come up for air. Your opinion in the universe of me rates about a zero. Now go add value to that somewhere else and find a new hero. Vicarious living is death, covered up in a whole lot of coveting. This ain't church, so why you got a plate in your hand? Cause baby I ain't offering, but you can take this 2 cents right here to the store and go and get a snack. Then sit on the curb and figure from which hand you just got smacked. The turn up,
You want it?
time for the turn up.
Got it.
Turn up,
And for it.
time for the turn up. Turn up.
Everybody wanna know like about celebrity friends and why I gained weight, my marriage and all that. What else?
Time with the Roots was cool, Jake was great, and Cat Williams, yes, amazing.
For real though.
All it means is cool people enjoy my talents and my company. See, I make me experience, shape me, but in the day I made me self-reliant, don't waste the fight, and don't see that change until I'm dying. Far as waking, chalk it up to depression, married and asshole.
Pretty much.
Dark days, storms, then made it to the end of the rainbow. Found me a pot gold named Sam. I love being his mother. Might do it one more time, honestly, because it's such an honor. Always wanted a real life for real love, something that was on my true definition of fame is to be alone in the sunshine. Turn up, time for the turn up.
You wanted it.
Turn up.
It is.
Time for the turn up. Turn up. Time for the turn up.
You asked for it.
Turn up.
What?
Time for the turn up. Turn up. Yo, everything in this world that glitter and gold
Ain't that the damn truth?
gain the world, lose your soul.
Pretty much.
Everything that glitters ain't gold. You gain the world just to lose your soul. Hey, everything that glitters ain't gold. You gain the world just to lose your soul. No shame in loving God, though the world may see God's failure. Good things they do take time. Take yours, I take mine. No point in lying for it, might end up dying for it. We all get what we deserve, some help deserves some way to be served. My pride is my right, and my right is my life. Race if I want to, might miss the real truth. To be more understanding, to be more forgiving, to compromise, to believe God.
Y'all always want to ask some questions, right? Did that answer it for
Uno,
you?
dos,
Come on, man.
uno, dos,
Out here.
tres, apalasa.
Turn up. You wanted it.
You know, every time and I think what my state of mind was 11 years ago, because that banner is dead on walls, accurate. Like 2015 is when I put that, and man, I'm trying to tell you, where my mind be at times is something else. But what I love about that last piece, when I start talking about what I learned, just to remind y'all what the lyrics were, just in case you were just listening to the melody or not fully embracing everything, or being able to hear. You know, sometimes we listen, but it's the wild stuff about music, and we get caught up in the melody, and we're not even attention to what is actually being said. So I just wanted to run this just one more again, right? There's no shame in loving God, though the world may see as failure. I learned the things that you take pride, take yours. I take mine. I learned there's no point in lying for it. I'm lying for it. I learned y'all get what we deserve. Some help themselves and some wait to be served. I learned that my plight is my right and my right is my life. I learned you can rush if you want to, but you might miss the real jewels. I learned to be more understanding. I learned to be more forgiving. I learned to compromise. I learned to be God. I learned. I don't know if anybody paid attention to the way I structured that whole last chorus and verse, or I guess you could say bridge. But I started it out with the acknowledgement of God, and I ended with the acknowledgement of God. Right? I learned there's no shame in loving God, though the world may see as failure. I learned to believe God. To get it. You know, I'm a very thoughtful writer, but I love it when the songs that I've written, or the poetry that I've written, or short stories that I've written, where they project more as like prophecy than just an idea or a concept or a testimony. See, I knew even all the way back then that there was going to come a day when the truth was going to have its say. So for over a decade, I've been preparing to live by that, to live in that. And I need you guys to do me a favor. Please let your notifications really don't be going out. I need everybody to hit the like button no matter where you are. I need everybody to please share and let people come on. Because we have a lot of engaging conversation here. And I don't think like I find it funny that even a CNN veteran like Don Lemon literally repeats throughout his shows and he does care. But please hit the like. It affects the algorithm. It lets people know that we're here and it gives people the opportunity to come and be a part. And please, it's very important. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. But yeah, it's pretty amazing. So before we get into it, let's get started with just some acknowledgments. I think we have some new members in the building. What's going on? Unisa, welcome. Welcome to Jag Nation. We have Daisy. Welcome. Welcome to Jag Nation. Appreciate you. And Nakia, thank you so much for your acknowledgement. Appreciate you for that. So yeah, who do we have in the building? There goes our girl over there, Cadillac, keeping everything
Yeah,
going.
make sure that your mic settings are.
Excuse me?
Make sure you don't know the mic.
Is my mic not working? Can the audio
It
breaking
sounds
up?
it's choppy. Yeah.
That's funny. Let me um let me pop out.
You ain't got to log out and hop in. It's really just about making sure that you go to your settings and your mic is on the not the built-in mic, but the other mic.
Okay, let me double check. No, I'm locked and loaded. Yeah, no, it's everything is cool on my end, but the audio is breaking up. I sound robotic. I might need to clock out and clock back. And the audio is a bit muffled. Okay, audio is choppy. All right, let me pop out, pop right back in. You know what? I wish we had a little something to share while I was doing that.
So just play something.
Okay. Okay, so hold on a second. I'm telling you, it's just annoying. It's annoying. They always do that. I'll see you guys in a second.
Let me read your, let me read your, let me read your future. Put the money in the bowl. Place your hands like so. Take a deep breath in and let it hurt your nose real slow. Got a lot of questions that need answering. Let's figure them out fast before you get a chance to run out the door. This process takes some trust, more in yourself than in me. Cause everything you show will mirror through me clearly. Place your hands on the crystal ball and let's see it all. Let me read your, let me read your ready? Future. We've all got a past. Let's skip through your spells. It's no longer reality, just facts that we breathe. You got women issues, meaning you got mommy issues. Always trying to right past wrongs, and when you do, it's always just such a sad. Don't wanna be like daddy. Hate the parts of you like daddy, and no one really sees. You're just trying to be the best man you can be. Don't take your hands up off that ball. Now let's see it all. Let me read your, let me read your, let me. You ready? Read your future. Hold up, I see a woman. No, you don't see her coming. She get you down to your last drop and knows how to start just in case you stop. She's everything you need to achieve the man you want to be. She holds your crazy world together, and she does it so seriously. She knows how you take it coffee, how to ease your mind softly. She sees the best in you, even on those times when you really don't want to. Now look inside that bone, and can't you see it all? Yeah. future, future.
Salute. That was by Atonal Sound, based out of Dallas, Texas, and I, Jaguar Wright. The title of the song is called Future. Nothing to do with the rapper, everything to do with that prophecy I'll be talking about that I'll be having. Okay, how can everyone hear me now? Do I sound okay? Do I sound okay? Can I get a thumbs up if I'm doing okay?
Yes, sounds good.
All right, awesome. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but we got to get another song in, so I don't consider it a bad thing. Thank you so much, J Rock, for the compliment. Audio's perfect. Okay, great, great. So usually we take the time to do our shout outs to all of our members. You know who you are. To our moderators, you know who you are. Uh, Here we are for the weekend wrap up. So let's just get right into it. It was a beautiful song. Well, thank you. Thank you. I tend to write from, a really, really, really like whole place. I think the best conversation that I've learned how to have is expressed when I'm writing music. So, thank you. Okay. Where do we begin? This has been an interesting week. It seems like everyone's in court. Has nobody noticed there's like three hip hop related trials happening like all at the same time? And that's not something that you hear about often. It's actually a little weird. We've got Little Durk on trial, and that's just snitches galore. We got Keefe D on trial, that's snitches galore. And then we got Mo 3 on trial. Well, not Mo 3, but Yellow Beezy and Kawan. And apparently there's a whole lot of stuff going on there, and it's looking like, yeah, people about to get trapped up. But for the trial regarding the unalignment of Mo 3, lot. We've also lost a lot of public figures, people in the celebrity realm. For the past 2 weeks, this Sunday it'll be 2 weeks since Hayden Panettiere passed away, and that story is getting even more interesting. We'll get into that a little bit. Her mother has been doing interviews, and that's been quite interesting. Um, since Hayden passed away, we've had who else? Dolly Parton, Tim Robbins, Michael Wright, Mr. Samuels from Minister Society and Players Club. Uh, who else? I'm missing someone. Yeah, Tim Curry passed away. Sure did. Sure did. He was 80 years old. Um, Dolly Parton was 80 years old. That we have people who had full lives who passed away. Um, yeah, another lunar eclipse. It- It's been crazy. It's been a lot. The full moon came in, and it's been just, woo, a lot of energy. And there's something off in the world right now. I wish I could explain it. I feel it, and I'm sure a lot of you feel it too. I'm sure a lot of people would like to take it and write it all off as anxiety or depression or just, the everyday average blues. It's just, it's hard to explain. But right now, the world that we're living in is being bombarded with just all kinds of chaos. A lot of things happening all at once. You did your moon water, do whatever you got to do. It's a very heavy energy, right? Like, I'm not the only person. Like, I'm not tripping. Thanks a lot, Kat. Thank you for posting that up. Um, yeah, it's hard. Like, there's moments where I don't even know how to properly articulate everything that I'm feeling. It, you can feel it too? Yeah. And that's why we have to stay heavily, like in heavy meditation. For those of you who use the word prayer, being mindful of where you spend your energy. But a lot of the stuff that's happening right now is to to bring us down, to keep us in a dark place. You know, in the words of our good girl Grace, keep your vibrations high, children,
Can you
because
hear
that's what
me?
you're trying to. It's absolutely. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Do I sound better than I did before? Right. Just making sure.
Yes, much better. Oh wow,
Okay.
folk singer Randy Burns passed away as well. And
Yeah.
you
There.
remember what I said at the top of this year? A lot. I feel it. A lot of people are gonna die this year.
Yeah. No. You did say that. You were railing off the list, and I don't think people really understand that. That's a lot of celebrities passing away at like almost at the same time.
Like this.
Caffeine, old boy from Minister Society.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of like
52
Michael
years
Wright.
old. I know.
Yeah, that's yeah,
It's almost like somebody
yeah.
pushed a button and said, activate the grief algorithm.
Well,
It's
and what you were speaking on about, you know, raising or having a high vibration, even though, yeah, there's a lot of changes in the earth and just with society, like LA, for whatever reason, it feels like Atlanta. It's so humid. There's a lot going on. I was
it has
talking to moms,
been.
and she was just like, they say in the end times, you ain't gonna know the seasons, being able
The
to be able to tell the
weather.
difference between the seasons. Yeah, but the thing is again, like you said, all these celebrities dying, it puts like a grief thing out there, like you said. Think about
Mm.
think about when, okay, for us in LA, when who passed first? It was Nip that passed first, and that
Mhm.
was such a shock. Like, what in the f? It just
Yeah.
lowered the vibration of the city, and then um almost 9 months later, Kobe,
Yeah. Kobe passed away.
and it just lowered the vibration.
Kobe ushered in the pandemic
Yeah. Now let's go
because COVID
back,
happened
because
and then the shutdown happened.
yeah, right at like Kobe had happened at February, January, end of January, then a month later, boom,
January,
month, 6 weeks
right
later.
before the Super Bowl,
Now peep
like right before the
this,
Super Bowl time, Grammy
peep
time.
this. I'm
Yeah.
about to go way back. Dolly Parton passed on the same day as who? Aaliyah.
As Aaliyah, 25-year anniversary. And people have to
Remember?
realize those quarters, like when things happen like the 25th year, the 50th year, the 100th year, you like that's significant. I'm
And
sorry, go
and
ahead.
and no, 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 no. So, but 25 years ago, Aaliyah passed, and that was like the hip hop generation. We all felt that. I don't know about y'all, but that was so effed up, and we were like, oh my god. And then a few weeks
And
later,
then
9/11.
9/11. Yep. I
This
was
is
thinking
how
the
these,
exact same thing.
but again, this is how these people operate. Like it is like it's a an assault on the consciousness of the masses, the emotions of the masses.
And the
Just pay
spirit.
attention to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. And then as if that's not enough, we have the average everyday buffoonery that we deal with. And at some point in time, I think I want to acknowledge that last interview that Krishan Rock did with Jason Lee. Cause I'm starting to peep something with that whole situation. And I don't really talk about her and the blue face and the Zeus of it all. Like I don't really talk about that, but I'm looking at the way things is being affected. I'm looking at the way things are being shaped, and I'm looking at Jason. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. Um, so where do we start with the buffoonery of it all? Okay, so let's start with a young woman by the name of Victoria Murdoch. Now, this is a story that caught my attention. It's been starting to get some traction over the course of like the past 48 hours. I'm noticing a lot of content creators are kind of jumping on it, and it's weird. It's weird. And it's a weird story for me because, well, number one, I don't really like people who lie. I think the hardest thing for the media campaign against me is sitting there listening to a bunch of people who are nothing but liars constantly keep trying to call me a liar. Thank you so much for the jewels. Because I speak out against the hypocrisy, I speak out against the misinformation, I speak out against the lies. That's what I do. Like, that's pretty much my plight in life at this point in time. So for me, seeing this, it kind of just like, it pissed me off. And it pissed me off on multiple levels because when you think about it, we've already heard this story this year. See, earlier this year, there was a whole exposure that happened from a woman whose name is Cheyenne Bryant, who got the name Dr. Bryant trademarked and thought that that was enough to make up for the fact that she didn't finish whatever doctoral program that she had, enrolled herself into, and had no dissertation, had no transcripts, had no evidence of anything. Meanwhile, she's been on social media for what, like 15 years, parading herself as this this heavy intellectual with multiple degrees. I think she said something like she had 6 degrees and she had this and she had these masters and she had a doctorate in this and she was Dr. Cheyenne Bryant and she was doctor this and doctor that. All to find out she's only a doctor in her mind. Like when she started sitting there using God and using the Bible and playing with God and playing with the Bible and talking about, it doesn't matter what anyone in the world said because, once again, video vixen. And we're gonna get into that, Cadillac. But saying that, God ordained her and she declared this for herself and she's not going to let anybody take away what she's called upon herself and all of this and all of that. Like, it's so bad that somehow somebody from a non-accredited university in middle America somewhere felt bad for her that Jamal Bryant called her out for her fraud and her falsehoods and apologized to his platform for platforming her as a doctor when she wasn't one. And he just decided he was going to give her a degree from his non-accredited institute because he felt bad. Because as a Christian, we shouldn't be running around making people feel bad. Really funny. Because what I do know is that if people are actually paying attention to the Word of God, and if people actually care about the Word of God and the teachings of Yeshua, you have to acknowledge one thing: dishonesty is not something that he likes. Matter of fact, dishonesty is something that he preached against. He preached against repeatedly. He talked about the value of being honest and being forthright. And meanwhile, while everyone was busy defending Cheyenne Bryant, mostly people who had platformed her as a fraud, nobody bothered to acknowledge the fact that she was just a liar. She just got caught in a bunch of lies. And it's wild because even Amanda Seals jumped on the bandwagon, getting, taking to her social media, I think on Instagram, saying, I don't understand why everyone is going after Cheyenne Bryant. I mean, I'm starting to think it's like a bot thing. I mean, okay, so she lied. I mean, she's not hurting anybody. When she was on my show, when she was on my podcast, she was brilliant. So because she's a brilliant liar, that means we just skip over that. But everyone kept relying on the whole, who is she hurting? She's not hurting anyone. I preface all of that and I say all of that to bring us to this young woman. This young woman, Victoria Murdoch, she's been on social media for quite some time now. She has a very active social media platform. She's, I guess, been grabbing sponsorship. She started out on Love Island, which we all know is a reality TV show. And we all know what reality TV shows are about. Reality TV shows pretty much are based in anything but reality. And most of the times are scripted. So you're dealing with someone who's used to playing online in media in a format of dishonesty in some way, shape, or form. So I think we got a clip here. Let's take a look.
If you have any friends who are in nursing school, in school to be a dentist, in PA school, I put on my phone, in school to be a doctor, etc., we are simply not okay. We're tired. We're stressed out. We actually need a break. We're overworked and overstimulated at the same time. And don't let you be in clinic working for free. Don't let you be in rotation. These are some of God's strongest soldiers. So I say that all to say, send a text, maybe saying that you're thinking about someone, proud of them, keep going, something, because we are on our last leg, you guys. We have a break coming up in November, but we are simply not yet there. It seems actually very far. And for my Christian girlies who follow me, keep your girl in your prayers. I'm first year PA. It's a lot of work and I am stressed out.
Hey guys, get ready with me for my psych rotation as a PA student. I feel like this is long overdue and I haven't done a get ready with me with you guys yet. You guys, I've been waiting so long to start my clinical year because I am such a hands-on person. Random fact about me, I used to want to become a psychiatrist for the longest. But later down the line, I just learned that that wasn't the career path for me. I've really been loving my psych rotation right now. It has definitely been a 10 out of 10 for me. I've been doing patient interviews, doing mental status exams. Also been following up on patient meds, therapy sessions, and doing soap notes. I've been putting my knowledge from didactic year to good use, you guys. I woke up early, not only because I've just been in this weird headspace about 2026, but also just very grateful for where I am this year versus last year. Last year during didactic, I was so stressed out all the time, from sun up to sundown, sitting in classes and having to study for hours on end. I had no free time. I can confidently say that God is the only reason I made it through last year. Lately, I've just been reminding myself that I can handle this. God's got me and I belong here. Between studying, rotations, and just trying to take better care of myself, I've been learning I don't need to be busy 24/7. I've been finding joy in just having a little routine. And let me just say, the schedule is so nice compared to some of the other rotations. I actually have time to sleep, have breakfast, and not feel like I'm dragging myself throughout the day. It's honestly so nice. I'm making sure I take care of my health too. Breakfast, skincare, a quick workout or a stretch. But not least, I always do a devotional or a prayer time before I start my morning. So to all my fellow PA students or healthcare workers, listen, I know we all get tired. Give yourself the credit. We are out here grinding, showing up for ourselves, and still managing to function like a normal human being. Listen, progress is progress, and even if it's fueled only by caffeine and Celsius, we still show up, we still make it happen. So I'm officially halfway through my program, which is insane. It's going by so fast, but I've been enjoying it. Honestly, if I made it this far, literally, yeah, I hope you enjoy it and like for part two.
If you have any friends,
What a
This is
lovely.
this is fake it till you make it like a mother.
I can't even give it fake it till you make it, because fake it till you make it applies that you're actually in the process of trying to achieve this goal. So you kind of like Cheyenne Bryant. She was faking it until she made it. Like until she made it. She actually went to Argosy. She actually was enrolled. She actually had somebody who saw her in the program. Like it just the school shut down and she didn't graduate and whatever the case may be. That's kind of like faking it till you make it. It for me. Do you see this? This hoe is a psycho. She rolled up to the school. Now, just in case you guys don't understand, let me get you all caught up. This girl here from Love Island, Victoria Murdoch, who's been on social media, decided that, she was going to try on a couple of careers. She tried on being some kind of she was teaching people how to run Airbnbs. She was giving, Frederick Jalla tutorials on how to be successful at Airbnbs, even though when she posted up how much money she wasn't making no money. But she was making sure that she was posting up because she was trying to get some sponsorship. Then she went into real estate. She was supposed to have been a real estate agent. And guess what? She ain't got no real estate license either. She's tried on a couple of professions. And then she decided that she was going to step it all the way up. And she was going to cosplay as a physician's assistant student. That's a 2-year program. For 2 years, she pretended she was in school. Y'all just seen the video of her doing her getting ready. Yeah, and she put on her scrubs and she showed you her shoes and she did her skincare and she did her makeup and she curled her hair so that she could look good when she was going to Duke University program. And this is a very, very, very prestigious program. Getting into this program is a big deal. You would have need to have gone to college. You would have need to have applied. You would have need to have had a proper degree to be able to be accepted into this program in order to go to the school so that you could become a licensed physician assistant, which is somebody who works like in hospitals with doctors and stuff.
Is it a step
And,
down from a nurse practitioner?
um, yeah, it's a couple steps down. It's kind of like being
Okay.
like an anesthesia, maybe not an anesthesiologist or like a phlebotomist. Like you have
Yeah.
the credentials to be in the room, but you learn all different aspects because a physician's assistant with that kind of degree, you can work with surgeons or you can work in a practitioner's office or you can work in urgent care. Like you can work. Like it means you're qualified to assist medical physicians. So there's a lot of learning there. There's a lot going on. Oh, wait a minute. Salute. Why do they mess with the audio every time you drop a nugget? Angel, I don't know why they mess with me. I'm just keeping it. Now you can't. Now nobody can hear anything.
I hear you. Let me
Yeah,
let me
we got.
check because I hear you.
Yeah, basically a legal secretary or like a paralegal for doctors. Okay, you can hear now. Awesome. So I want people to understand that this whole cosplaying thing is kind of wild. But the simple fact that she chose to pretend to be someone like who's working in the medical field, and it's deeper than just her pretending. Like it's deeper than this picture of her. She went to the university. She took a picture posing in front of the sign and posted it up. She did a diary. She did a video diary of what they were learning from week to week, from month to month. You sat there and you saw the video of her talking about how tired she was and how exhausted she was and how they worked these people in this program. She posted up multiple pictures. She even posted up pictures of her graduating on the steps at the building. Like she stepped all the way into this character. It's not like she was ever enrolled in the program and was forced to drop out or couldn't afford to, keep up, or lost her, maybe lost her financial aid, and she was never in the program at all. And we were able to find this out because one of the women, the young women who was actually in the program, who was actually the class historian, who did graduate for the class of 2026, came forward and made it very clear that this person never stepped foot in the class, was never a part of the class, had never been an attendee of this school at all. There's only 91 people. And I'm not even sure if all 91 people graduated, but because she said they started with 91 people. And she said after 2 years, they knew everyone. Everyone knew everyone that was in that program. What's even more interesting is the young woman that came forward to bust this hoe out, Miss Loveless Island, is that she started following her on social media. So she was going to this woman's social media who was actually in the program, studying up on all of the things that she talked about, all of the things that they were doing, all of the things that she had shared about what was going on in the Duke's physician assistant program. And then she was taking those details and posting them up as if they were her own. Like that's some serial killer. She stalked this whole program. And she was being offered sponsorships on social media.
See, I didn't know all the details. This right here, yeah, you're right. It's very dangerous. Back to what you were saying about the sponsorships. You noticed all the products that she was showing during her get ready for the day routine.
She was showing all of that stuff because she was busy trying to get herself a brand deal.
Yeah.
So when I think about Cheyenne Bryant and all of the things that she's been endorsed with, and now we look at this. Amanda Seals, who is Cheyenne Bryant hurting? Everyone. Because see, It's that fraud ass behavior that encourages people like her. They said she was on her social media giving people advice. Giving people advice. Bitch ain't been in that school to learn nothing, not na day. And she's giving advice. And now that she been busted out, guess what she did? She shut down her socials. She's just gonna try to pretend it away. And even the friend who she was sitting there with that was, oh my goodness, this is my friend and she's graduating this year. She's giving medical advice. From all of her extensive training from Duke Physician's Assistant School that she never been to. You see? This is a problem. This is becoming an epidemic. The question is, how many other people are on social media right now playing this game? Like, that's how bad it's gotten in this world. That people are really, like actually willing to lie their way into sponsorships for money. Now, she ain't had no problem with showing us that she drives a Mercedes C-Class. Like, these people out here is frauding. Heavy, grifting. And then people had the audacity to say, man, y'all always want to tear black people down. Huh? Tear who down? We trying to take, huh? What, people gonna start coming out saying that everyone's jealous of her because she beautiful? She got the pretty privilege too? We have a serious issue in this world right now where grifting has become like an accepted profession and people are willing to make excuses for just out and out liars. Like just crazy. Crazy. I don't know. Is it just me?
No. I was see, and I'm not gonna go with the black people tearing they selves down. No. This is not indication of all of us. Let's take example of you got black physicians. Who's the brother? Remember, Mos Def played him in a film where he was the first actual doctor to
hands.
to participate in open heart surgery.
I think it was, what's it called? Gifted Hands.
You gotta look at the father of medicine. Imhotep was a black man, and in it, like the Hippocratic Oath, is it based upon anyway?
Yeah, but
the father of medicine comes from Africa. That's what I'm basically trying to get at. So
no, but the movie that you're talking about, I just wanted to make sure that everybody remembered. It came out in 2004. It was an HBO film. It was about the man whose name is Vivian Thomas.
Yeah.
And it was called Something the Lord Made. Yeah. I just wanted to give us that note, but please finish. Hello?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm here. But no, I was basically saying the first doctors were black. So it's not a fact about, black people holding each other or holding ourselves back or putting ourselves back or nothing like that. We actually, let's say we started this gangster shit, right? We do
Mhm.
have a bunch of people who are um, pretendos, Decepticons, as a cat said in the chat earlier, where
Mhm.
they have to put on this show. They got to let people know that they're doctors, that they're, they're doing what they're doing. I have a friend of mine. She's an African uh, chick, and when she was becoming a doctor, she was like telling me she was maybe suffering from imposter syndrome. This is what she thought she was. This is the same sister who has the nonprofit organization, right?
Mhm.
And I've seen her build that nonprofit from the ground up, and then she became a doctor in the process.
Hmm.
But before, she was like kind of feeling like she's not doing enough, and this like she just felt like she wasn't doing enough, and she was basically like I was just like, no, you're doing good. Keep going. Just the main thing is to do the work. Keep going, keep every day. And she did it. She just stayed at it, and then yeah, eventually she got her doctorate from USC, and she really did it. She did all that, and she has a nonprofit, all that. You got those types, and then you got your people who are, and that's why I said fake it till you make it, because that's what I was saying she was doing at first, but in all actuality, it's not even faking it till you make it. She that this is harmful. This is something mentally. Something mentally is off with this whole situation with her, in my opinion. Because why go through all this pretending? And she went and got fake scrubs. Where did she get the damn badge? Um, like
Apparently,
she
she
went
got
all
on her
out.
way, researched it online, and then had it made. Like these people go all the way over the top.
Hold on. Indigo League says slow down. No disrespect. What are you talking about? Slow down. You gotta listen quicker, partner.
You know what? You don't even talk that fast. So can we
I
please
know.
like just slow
All right,
down so
so
you can
let me slow it down for him. The institution of
stop?
doctoral
Can you stop?
programs.
Can you stop, please?
I'm gonna play that song for him by the Black Eyed Peas. Let's get retarded. Let's get retarded. The original version, not let's get it started.
What are you
We about to
doing?
play Let's Get
What,
Retarded.
what are- no, because see, I want to keep this whole thing going here, and having the conversation with just the dishonesty. Just how comfortable we've gotten as a society with dishonesty. Cause like this girl, she's a symptom. Media is the disease because media encourages liars. It rewards them. The more dishonest you are, the larger your platform is. See, there's another, I just want to get into this because I think we've addressed the Victoria Murdoch situation. She's a nut job. That's clear. But this is a sickness. There's another nut job that I would like to talk about if you don't mind.
Who?
This person goes by the name Sydney Starr, Sydney Favors.
Stephen Favors.
Okay. So I just wanted to go from one crazy to another. Now, everyone knows that Sydney Starr has been, denied bond. Like everyone knows that. Everyone knows that Sydney is being denied bond because of the seriousness of the charges against her and what she did, or we'll say what is alleged that she did with a 13 young tender boy. Like, the simple fact, have you seen the mother's statement? The mother's statement is, as a parent, it'll piss you off because this whole thing went pretty quick. It went pretty rapid, and Sydney was definitely the person who set it into motion. She was the orchestrator of this entire event. It's not like this young tender was trying to get at her. She, ooh, you cute. Come here. Let's exchange information. Here, hold up your iPhone. Okay, we've shared contacts. I'ma be in touch. Favors, walks away, goes to where, somewhere else, another place in the hotel. I'm assuming somewhere in the lobby area or by the elevator. Then all of a sudden it's texting the young tender, meet me at the elevator. There's something that I want to show you. Then into the elevator, swipes the key card that goes directly to Sydney's floor, then encouraging the young tender to the room, and then instantly, boom, you add it. And then when the young tender realizes you're not what you're representing, they try their best to get away from you, and then it's no, hold on. Then it's here. Let me give you $40 and please keep your mouth shut. This person has admitted to actually doing what they did with this 1-3 young tender, and then try to throw it off as consensual. I think the part that's bothering me more than anything, though, is that their representatives that were there with them in court and even their lawyer are trying to make it seem as though this is an upstanding person who's never done anything wrong, and it's all just one big mistake, and they deserve to not be treated like a criminal and an animal. Now, some people have been asking, where is Sydney being held? It has been confirmed that Sydney is being held in an LGBT unit. So Sydney is being held with people from that, from her community, from the community. So she, it's not like she's going to be with women, and it's not like she's going to be with men or in the men's jail. It's kind of considered like a protective custody for somebody with her kind of charges, to make sure that she's not violated. It's a shame there wasn't someone there to make sure that that young tender wasn't violated, but
Why they giving her more protection or him more protection than the child? But I digress.
I know, but there is something that I found, just a quick little something that I wanted to share. Okay. So just y'all bear with me for a second, but I wanted to listen to this. It's very quick.
We used to trick niggas a lot.
Deceive. That, yeah.
When they found out, or did they ever find out?
Um,
How would you hide that? Like, if you fucking with a nigga, you don't want a nigga to know. You just suck his dick all the time and tell him I'm on my period
I'm on my period. Yeah.
Oh God.
Tell him I'm on my period. I've actually trick fucked a nigga too before.
How you do that? Wait. Oh.
you just get in the dark. You hold stuff like this.
You hold it?
Yeah, you just hold a little something. You put a little towel under it. Like I'm spotting real bad now. So just be gentle. And then when you got a lot of booty, it helps. You got a lot of ass.
Nigga,
So,
a nigga ain't touching down there. Like,
one time, okay, no, but one time, one dude, he was so excited. He was getting a little excited. He came around. He reached around. I said, I said, I'm on my. I said, I'm spotting. No, don't touch me. Don't touch me, Milk.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Whoa.
wish.
What's that? I just want
Wow.
to.
Whoa. Yeah.
So
Whoa. Get that shit off. Jesus Christ.
I am, I am. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
And this is why I was gonna say something, but you didn't already. Yeah. This is not the PG-13. But wow. Go ahead. Continue.
We can edit it later if we need to.
Oh no,
I'm
I
just
ain't tripping.
saying.
I ain't tripping.
Now that was Sydney literally admitting to being intentionally deceptive. See, I don't have a problem with a transgender person who is honest and proud of who they are, who does not trick people into believing that there's something different than what they actually are. For those people who do not know, I had a whole transgender personal assistant, a little over a decade ago. Salute to my Gigi. I knew Gigi from when Gigi went from Chucky to Gigi. I remember the first day Gigi came into the hair salon that I used to get my hair done at in the Bellevue in Philadelphia. I'll never forget the first day she wore some flat Mary Janes and a dress. Like I was there for her whole transition. And she was my personal assistant. She came to events with me. She she was always with me, hanging out in straight environments. And one of the things that I required was that you never be deceptive of anyone about who or what you are when you're with me. The second that you lie to somebody about who and what you are, I can no longer have you around me like that. I'm like, more importantly, you don't want to be involved with anybody that you got to lie to be with you. Because that's how you get people hurt or you get yourself in trouble. So this isn't about me being bigoted or about me hating on. That's not true. I've had a few transgender people in my life who I loved and cared for. I had a friend of mine who was trans before trans actually became a thing, when they were still calling people he, she's. He went by the name Eve. And I remember when he popped up on the news, they found him in a dumpster. He had a real nasty habit of lying to people about what he was. So for me, I always encouraged honesty because I know what it can do. I know where it can lead. I know the damage it can do. So when I hear this whole Sydney Star story and knowing that it's a young tender that was involved, that shit pisses me off. But then when I go and I see stuff like what I just shared with y'all, how can people sit here and pretend that this is not a duplicitous person with ill means intended upon getting to what they want? And then I was listening to another video. And in that video, this content creator, and I'm going to shout him out, O'Shea Duke Jackson. I think it was important what he had to say. I think it was very important. I was very intrigued by the conversation that he had and how it would be received here on the internet. So This is the thing that he had to say. And to pull it all together, keep it kind of short, or just to abridge it in some way. Hmm. Sydney Favors was born male and decided to transition to live a transgender lifestyle. Now, Sydney has lied on several occasions because over the course of the past 6 to 8 years, Sydney has tried to persuade the public into believing that she fully underwent full gender reassignment, but that's not true. She still got all of her equipment. The only thing she has is the, you know, the bosom and the caboose. She got a big caboose and she got big bosom. But she still has everything else. So there's been nothing but lies around how she identifies, or around transitioning. It's just crazy. But she was born male. But O'Shea said this, and it's very provocative. And I'm like, you know what? I want to have that conversation. I want to continue that conversation because I really think it needs to be addressed. As someone who was born male, if Sydney Favors was still identifying as a male, and got caught doing what she's now being held in jail for, people would be destroying that person if she was still identifying as male. And even if she had been a cisgender woman and had done that to a 3-year-old young tender, people would be tearing this person apart. It would be helter skelter. Right? It would. It would be a completely different story. It would be insane. But this person is born male. This person still has all of their parts. I just showed you a video where this person brags about tricking people in order to get what they want. And yet we get many people that are making yes, O'Shea is Ice Cube's son, but this content creator is not, and he's junior. This content creator is not related to Ice Cube at all. It's a troll name. And I think it was done just to, gain attention and attraction because everybody knows that O'Shea Jackson is Ice Cube. He's a troll. He's part of the Black Manosphere, whatever the case may be. But my point is, why are we not treating Sydney, aka Star Favors, with the same vitriol that we would give anybody else that identified as cisgender male or female? Why is everyone making such a big deal to protect this person because of the community that they hail from? Like, I'm just trying to figure that out. Why? Why is everybody tiptoeing around Sydney Star Favor? Why is everyone tiptoeing around it? Why is everyone not giving it the kind of outrage that it actually deserves? Why are people making all of these excuses for this horrifying situation when this person has made it clear that they are a liar? This person has made it clear that they are a grifter. This person has made it clear that they have no problem with deceiving people into doing things with them that they probably wouldn't do if they knew. Why? Why are we making excuses? This is an interesting question. Do y'all feel her light skin complexion has something to do with it? And also, do y'all think people are downplaying it because Sydney identifies as a female? I think the complexion part really doesn't have that much to do with it, in my opinion. I really think it's just because people are afraid that they're going to look to the rest of that community as predatory. And they're trying to do anything that they can do to turn people away from seeing that community as predatory. And see, this is the tricky part. I know and have great love for people in that community. Completely. And I also know that people like Sydney are bullshit and really not a representative of that community. Because most transgenders that I know, they don't want to be monsters. They don't want to be liars. They just want to be embraced and accepted for who they are as they are. You know, I think there's a difference between a transgender and somebody cosplaying. I call them men in makeup. And I'm really sick and tired of people not just taking into consideration or acknowledgement that this is a 1-3-year-old young tender we're talking about. There's absolutely no way that a grown adult didn't know that that was a kid. But ooh, you cute. Come here. Like I'm glad that the bond was denied, and I wish that people would stop making excuses. Because it's absolutely ridiculous. Because if that were just a normal cisgender male or cisgender female, the world would be tearing Sydney apart. And I think we need to stop giving these people passes. I really do, in my opinion. I think, look, I'm glad bond was denied too, because this is a person that has a background and a history in being deceptive, in lying, and willing to do whatever they want and whatever they have to do to get what they want. And that individual wanted that little young tender. So yes, and I'm sick and tired of people misrepresenting how young the victim is, because I've heard a lot of people trying to pass stories around saying that the person was, one 7 years. I've heard somebody say 1 5 year, no, 1 3. Young tender, just making it into the teen realm, like everyone was sitting there talking about how terrible and how disgusting EDP 445 is, right? The video came out, the documentary came out, the sick mind of EDP 445, and him and his viral status, and then the two times he got popped on YouTube by content creators for trying to get himself into situations with someone 1 3 years old, someone 1 5 years old. Like, are we not paying attention to that? Like, EDP 445 got busted for trying to mess with a fake 1 3 year old and was labeled and hunted down and went viral for being a predator. Then a couple years later, did it again with a 1 5 year old who was a real person that time. He's a man. Why ain't we giving Sydney Favors the same energy? Because of Sydney, ooh, I'm just like, it's unbelievable to me. Just, if Sydney were being identified as a man, as they were born, we would not have so much. Oh well, like, and to his PR team who's been sitting around, running around with the shade room and all of that, shame on y'all for sitting there trying to undercut it. How just disgusting. I thought oh well, Sydney has never done this, and Sydney has only had a parking ticket, and Sydney has never been this, and Sydney has never been that. But that's not true. Sydney has been guilty of a lot of questionable behavior. Sydney has done a lot of questionable things, which is part of the reason why I just showed y'all the little video about Sydney willingly laughing and joking about how they trick straight men into being intimate with them. And now they doing it with kids. Like, it's heavy gaslighting, heavy gaslighting. And it's just nuts. So I wanted to address that publicly, because we got to do better as a society. Like, people are so busy trying to protect agendas that we stop protecting the things that need to be protected. Our children need to be protected. And when I hear other people say that this isn't the first young tender that Sydney Favors has violated, this is just the first time Sydney Favors is being caught. Yeah, Sydney does not deserve bond, in my opinion. And we need to start asking ourselves why we keep allowing, these PR machines and these media machines to protect predators in real time. It's just kind of crazy. So, yeah, I it's just like, we have to do better. We have to do better as a society. And once again, like I said, I'm just looking at where we're going with the the lying machine, the lying media machine. So I'm not sure if our producer is back on deck because we had a couple other things that we were going to talk about because there's some other things that I wanted to share with you guys. But in my opinion, just there's something wrong with our nation where we're just hosting lies and we're just giving liars a pass because I'm telling you right now, it turns into something else. Sydney has been running around for years lying and getting away with it, lying and getting away with it, making up stories about entertainers. Anytime, her fame starts, falling off, or her star starts to become a little dim. The next thing you know, she's posing with another celebrity and creating another story. Like, but see, it's the lying. It's all of that lying. And it just keeps on going and keeps on going. And I'm sorry, I have an issue with what's going on with that young man. And I think we all need to be keeping that young man in prayer. And I think that everybody who's doing PR for Sydney Favors, before you start running your mouth and running interference for the celebrity world and the celebrity machine, think about how disrespectful that is to that underage victim and to the family, because that young man's mother literally sat there and said that this child is going to need extensive therapy, all because of one meeting, all because of one moment with this weirdo, this man in makeup. I find it disgusting. I think it's extremely sad. And yeah, this person is most definitely going to be damaged for life, regardless of what anybody has to say. Not that it matters, but it was a young black man, a young black boy. So that's even worse. Like, we have enough stuff that happens to us as a people. We have enough stuff that happens in our communities. And it's just kind of disgusting that we don't even look out for our own. The predatory nature that we have within our communities, it's just kind of pathetic. Whew. No, not 1-4, 1-3 years old. And I think people should remember that. Just as outraged as we are about what D4VD was doing with Celeste Rivas Hernandez, we should be equally as disgusted. We should be giving this the same energy. Not having people make excuses and doing press conferences about it. We're a very, very, very sad nation. We're a very sad nation right now, in my opinion. Listen to me. $40 for hush money. That was the even more disgusting part. You're gonna give a kid $40 to shut up. But moving right along. The next thing that we have on deck. Next thing on the docket is Hayden Panettiere. Cash Patel and the FBI are now officially getting involved. What's going on, said in the West? Hello?
Yeah, give me 1 second. Hold on. For whatever reason, because I'm trying to lay you out like it's supposed to be, and it's tripping. But yeah, there you go. So yeah, federal agents, they raided Hayden Panettiere days after her unexpected death. They said that her West Hollywood home um, was raided
Hmm.
and it drawn interest from the DEA. It said more than 6 agents entered her residence Tuesday with a warrant. This is according to people that were, situation.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they looking for stuff. I'm not gonna say too much regarding this whole situation with Hayden, as far as the developments, because I really want the investigation to get into full swing. What I will talk about are there are certain very interesting things around her as far as the people in her life leading up to her passing that I think more people really should be talking about. Her boyfriend, ex boyfriend, on again, off again, the actor slash criminal, he has a terrible record. Like he's just an awful person. Just overall, he is a shameless drunk. He's been banned in the little South Carolina town where she passed away. I believe he'd been banned from like 3 different bars in the area. He got kicked out of a Hooters. Um, he just has a bad track record overall. But I was listening to Popcorn Planet, and shout out to Andy Signore because he's covering this as well. But he was talking about how there was recently an interview, well, not an interview, but just a social media post from one of the directors that she was working with right before she passed away. And now he had come forward and he was talking about how troubling her relationship with this estranged on again off again boyfriend was, and how he was on set with her while they were filming, and how he made it very clear he approached him unwarranted because he wasn't asking for him to be involved. He wasn't even supposed to be there on set, but they let him rock out because of Hayden. And he said to the director, if you have any problems with her during filming, just come to me because I can make her do whatever you need her to do. And I'm just like, huh? What do you mean you can make her do whatever you need her to do? This is a 30 some odd year old woman. What do you mean you can make her do? And then when you take admissions like that and you couple it with the fact that the neighbors were talking about just the noise, the fights, the arguments, the yelling, the screaming, her recently on crutches, her, I believe, with like an injured arm before, just the fact that he was pawning her belongings. You know, the FBI searching her place in California, that's awesome. But who was it that was rummaging through her place after she had passed away in South Carolina? Whose car was that was parked in the spot that belonged to the apartment? Who was there at her apartment that put black tape over the ring camera on the unit? Not just over the camera, but over the speaker and the microphone for the audio. Somebody didn't want to be seen. Somebody didn't want it on the record that they went in and out of that place after she passed away. And I can't help but just look at the fact. And acknowledge the fact that this was all 3 months after her book came out, where she's talking about being human transported and being on a yacht and being victimized by people who she trusted in the industry, who were celebrity friends, and these, because it was more than one celebrity that she was talking about. I know everyone was talking about the possibility that it was JB on the yacht, but there were other stories as well, and she was ready to name names. And when I think about this boyfriend, let's not forget the fact that he's also an actor, even though he's a failed actor who ended up working as her personal assistant. But when I think about the last days of Bobby Christina's life, leading up to her going into that coma, Nick Gordon was having meetings with Clive Davis. He met with him at the Ivy, and then the next thing you know, Bobby Christina was in a coma. And they had a very, very, very bizarre relationship between the two of them. Bobby Chris, and then within a year, Nick Gordon was gone as well. And they were labeling him as an addict, even though I talked with his cousin, and his cousin said his cousin didn't do drugs. Look at how quickly they were willing to try to write Hayden's passing off as an OD. And I've talked about this before, how easy it is to just blame, these random demises on, SEX, DRUGS, and rock and roll. And it's kind of insane. It's kind of insane. And for those of you who are just getting here who don't know, welcome to the Jaguar Wright Effect. This is the official page of me, Jaguar Wright. So before we speak on this anymore, there's this interview with her mom. We're gonna watch this, and then I'm gonna say what I have to say about that.
How are you doing? It's a process, and I think it will probably hit me later on. I would say to the haters out there, you don't have a right to tell me how I mourn the loss of my second child. That's my domain.
Leslie Vogel, a mother grieving the loss of her superstar daughter and their complicated relationship, opening up about the moment she got the news that her daughter had died in a South Carolina apartment at just 36 years old.
What was that moment like for you?
I was numb. I was just numb. I just couldn't feel anything. I still am not grasping this as real. It just doesn't feel real. My mind tells me it's not at times. It's going to be a process. I need a minute, guys.
Yes. According to the police report, Hayden's on and off again boyfriend, Brian Hickerson, and his brother, Zach, were the last two people to see Hayden alive. The case is now under investigation. Brian had previously pleaded no contest in 2021 to felony charges he abused Panettiere. According to Leslie, their relationship with Hickerson accelerated in 2018 after Hayden handed over custody of her then 4-year-old daughter, Kaya, to her ex-fiancé, Vladimir Klitschko.
The situation with Hayden and Vlad and their daughter, that was a very difficult period for her. Vlad had taken over custody, for safety. In my opinion, that was the catalyst that she just couldn't keep those demons away. I think she struggled, and Brian came into her life. She was vulnerable.
The mother-daughter duo intertwined personally and professionally from the time Hayden first appeared on screen. Born to shine, the actor started appearing in commercials as a baby, moving on to soaps and eventually TV dramas and film.
This is one of my faves. This is from In the Limousine on the way to the premiere of A Bug's Life.
Leslie sharing several photos of Hayden's early life with us.
You said people don't know the truth about your and Hayden's relationship. What was the truth about your relationship?
I would say Hayden had a very happy life up until she got Heroes at 16. So here she was, the star of a major TV series. But I would say at about 17, I started seeing her going downhill. As she got older, then it wasn't my voice anymore. I wasn't in charge of her choices. I tried to give her the best advice I could. But again, you know, any young person, teen, they want to be liberated.
Now, I really want to just take a moment to stop here. Thank you for putting this up, Chaos, because this was a really, really, really important quote. Because Hayden talked about that herself. While she was filming Heroes, she said she wanted to have a real relationship with her mom. Her mother had pretty much just fell into the role of manager, not mom. And when she fired her mother, hoping that that would give them room and give them access to just be mother and daughter, her mom says, "You owe me." Now, to a certain extent, you can write that all off as hurt feelings or whatever the case may be. But to say that someone who you pretty much gave no choice but to embrace this lifestyle. Hayden had been on film and on screen since she was 11 months old in commercials. Who was benefiting from that? Was Hayden benefiting from it completely? At 11 months old, there's very little that you need. I mean, you need access to health care, you need food, you need clothes, you need shelter. But that's something that a parent is supposed to provide, regardless, for their child, for their infant. Hayden had been printing money like an ATM since before she could walk. She didn't, her first word, "Mommy, I want to act." That wasn't her, those weren't her first words. And I'm sure there was plenty of times as a kid, as a child star, where she felt the pressure of having to perform. When I think about the story that Hayden was sharing, when she said how her mother taught her how to trick herself into crying, and the mental manipulation that she would put herself through to be able to get those tears on command. And her talking about how as an adult she had to internalize and deal with the reality of how that messed with her emotionally and psychologically. But she also talked about how when her mother was able to tell directors that she could cry on cue, people wanted to work with her because of that. And when I think about that story, and then I think about what the director recently just said about the boyfriend Brian saying whatever you need her to do for filming or on cue, you come to me because I can make her do whatever you need done. I can make her do anything. To hear her mother talk about the boyfriend in such a derogatory sense when the truth is, whatever it was that made it possible for him to be predatory with her, to have dominion over her, to be controlling with her, to be abusive with her. You're the one that made that happen. You instilled all of those qualities. You raised her to be his victim. So for me, just listening to the mom talk about all of this, it kind of pisses me off. I think we have a little bit more to go. Let's listen to the rest of what mom had to say. I just had to interject that there.
And I get that. I did get that.
Hayden and her mom weren't speaking in the Star's final months. 1 year ago, her mom says she went to stay with Hayden to help her. She says Hayden wanted out of her relationship with Brian.
She knew that Brian was toxic. She knew she had to get him out of her life.
But things took a turn after about 6 weeks. She noticed Hayden pulling away, so she went back to her home in Florida.
What made you leave? What happened
Well,
between the two of you?
When I got the phone call from her saying, I'm going to be with the person I love. And I said, I just lost it. I lost it. I could not believe that she had gone that far back, that he had been successful in reeling her back in with all of the things he had done to her.
Vogel says Hayden was seeing Hickerson again. She gave Hayden an ultimatum. She says on the advice of her therapist, she told Hayden she couldn't talk to her if Brian was part of her life. And that was the beginning of their estrangement.
I needed it. I needed to have that pocket of time. Of course, I thought it was going to be a pocket of time. I did not, by any stretch of the imagination, think that this was going to happen to Hayden. I don't know why, I just didn't. Maybe I didn't want to.
Hayden released a book about her life, This Is Me, A Reckoning, back in May. In it, she recalls telling her mom at 19 that she didn't want Vogel to manage her career anymore. And Vogel replied, "You owe me." Vogel remembers that moment, but says her version doesn't match Hayden's.
I remember being in her trailer and literally saying nothing.
Wow.
I knew that day would come. It's not that I didn't expect it. But it was very short, very brief conversation, and then she turned and went to set.
Did it hurt to read that in the book?
You know, it just, I know I didn't say what she said I said.
Vogel lost her son Jansen in 2023, just 28. He was Hayden's little brother.
You've now lost 2 children in a short amount of time.
Yep.
Where do you go from here?
Just trying to I think you just have to find that inner strength. I have been knocked down throughout my life, and I'm not complaining because I have the strength to get back up. And that really is, it's not if we fall, it's how we get back up that defines who we are.
What do you want Hayden to be remembered for?
I want Hayden to be remembered for the talented, beautiful, outgoing, intelligent woman she really was. But I also want people to understand that it is my belief that she was suffering. Now, that doesn't make sense, because when you look at a beautiful girl who's got an incredible career, even though it has had its ups and downs, but you look at that big picture and you go, why would you be suffering? People don't understand that you can have on the exterior all of this, but that doesn't mean that what's going on in here matches.
And Leslie Vogel says she has been in contact with Hayden's former partner, Vlad. She calls him an amazing dad to their daughter, Kaya. She says he has given Kaya a wonderful childhood. Hayden was planning to see her daughter soon. She said she sees so much of Hayden in Kaya. She also said Hayden's estate will go to her daughter and that they will plan a celebration of life in the future. But she says that they are just not ready to plan that just yet, because right now her focus is on seeing where this death investigation goes. She is a grieving mother who wants answers.
Okay. That's a lot to take in. It's a lot. Um, you don't ever want to judge any grieving parent. The anniversary of my son's passing is coming up. Just a few days. September 9th, 2018. That was the day where I could honestly say my life would never be the same. And there were a lot of complicating factors and details around my son's passing. So I get certain reactions that don't always track. I gotta call bullshit on Ms. Vogel, because Ms. Vogel is also an actress who didn't have much of a career, and that's why she lived vicariously through her daughter for the better part of almost 20 years. She had this girl working from the time that she was born. I do not believe in any way, shape, or form that her denying that she said that "you owe me" to her daughter in that trailer. I do not believe that she's telling the truth. I don't believe it. What I can believe is that you put that moment out of your mind because it was such a terrible one. I'll give you that. But in all honesty, your daughter is now deceased, and you're arguing with her memoir. So you're low-key calling your deceased daughter a liar, as if you don't know how to lie. You're an actress. It's sad when you look at how the money is such a huge motivating factor for these people. She now has 2 deceased children, one who made her life, and the other who made her daughter's life, because her little brother, she made it very clear, was her favorite person. And he passed away, and she said that she didn't know how she was ever going to get over that. And it's funny, because I think part of the reason why Hayden loved her little brother so much was because he didn't have to do the Hollywood thing like she had to do, in the manner in which she did it. And I think she might have gotten to feel some sense of family or normalcy with him. I think her relationship with her mother especially, and by extension her parents as a whole, because her father agreed with everything that happened with her career and allowed it to happen. It's not like he ever tried to stop it. Apparently it was a family choice to keep working her in Hollywood and to keep working her as an actress. I think she probably just felt like there wasn't much family there. But with her brother, she got to have a sense of family. That's part of the reason why she said she fired her mother, was because she was looking to remove the business aspect from their relationship completely so that they could just have a maternal relationship, so that this woman could be her mom. And it's just really interesting, because now it goes back, especially after seeing this interview, making you think about what Rihanna had to say when she asked her, "Oh, how's your mom?" Because she remembers how her mother was working her as a momager when they did that film. So it's between Brian, between her mother, and who knows what her relationship with Vlad was like. Her daughter's father, whatever it was, it wasn't enough to keep her in it. And, it's great that he's being such a great father to their child. But when I think about her and talking about the postpartum depression, and then I think about the stories that she told about the handler that they had around her when she was in her mid-teens, who was giving her the happy pills. Where was her mother when her daughter was being given the happy pills? You were the mom, you were the manager, you were there, you were supposed to be watching, you were around. How did this person that you allowed to come into her life bring this very, very, very damaging practice into her life under your watch, on your watch, with under your control? Like, I'm just trying to understand. And with her taking absolutely no responsibility for any of why her daughter ended up the way she ended up. Like, she's taken no accountability at all for substance abuse, for the alcoholism, for her only knowing how to function in a work only capacity, because she had been doing that since she was 11 months old. Her talking about how she was used to being G-roomed. Her talking about how she was used to being compliant, always capitulating, doing what she was told to do because that's the way she was raised in Hollywood. And for you to do all of this and zero accountability, no accountability at all. I'm really looking forward to hearing more about where this investigation goes. And as far as I am concerned, Cash Patel has been a disappointment where victims are concerned, in my opinion, regarding everything that happened with the Jeffrey E. list and the victims who were doxxed and not protected by the Department of Justice or by the FBI. I hope he doesn't mess over this victim, because I do believe she was a victim. I do believe she was preyed upon. And considering everything that she was about to let drop, after everything she had just dropped, I think it would be very fair to say that somebody wanted her quiet. I also think it would be very fair to say that she had a lot of failed people around her. Her mother was a failed actress. The boyfriend, Brian, he was a failed actor. Like, she had a lot of that going on. What if somebody was able to pay him to rig some circumstances? I pray to God they're doing a toxicology report. I pray to God people take this a lot more seriously than they've done with other people who have passed away from questionable circumstances, like Hayden. Rest in peace. To Hayden Panettiere. Ooh, I'm sorry. I keep trying to tell people. I've been telling people for years. The second you start speaking out, things start getting strange. Speaking of speaking out, I saw another video done by a content creator whose name I'm not going to bother to mention. But in a video that they recently did, they were talking about how Dolly Parton, may God rest her soul, had spoken about how she believed Clive Davis might have had some involvement in the demise of Janis Joplin. And she also questioned him about him continuing on with the party when Whitney Houston passed away in the Beverly Hills Hotel. And she questioned him about it. How she was apprehensive to work with him, but she was very fond of Whitney Houston. So that's why she chose to do business with him for the Bodyguard soundtrack and allowed and gave clearance for I Will Always Love You. But she didn't want to work with him. And that's really interesting to me because, you know, people are always so busy trying to, you know, create this whole I'm a sensitive, you know, I'm a what is it? I'm a conspiracy theorist. I sensationalize random events. I'm an agent provocateur, whatever the case may be, yada yada yada. But I can say right now, I have had absolutely no connection personally to Dolly Parton. I never worked with her. No connection at all. Yet, for the past 7 years, I have asserted that because of people that I knew that had been in proximity working with Clive Davis and had proximity to Janis Joplin, who was also managed by Clive Davis, like my godmother Betty Wright was managed by Clive Davis. I've said the exact same thing. Once again, Janis Joplin died in a hotel, I believe in a bathroom, no different than Whitney Houston did all of those years later. And the both of them were trying to get away with, or should I say, get away from Clive Davis. So to hear that Dolly Parton believed the same thing that I believe, people better start waking up. Like, people really need to stop being so gullible. Because for two people from the industry who have had no connection and yet have the same accusations, have the same assertions, that should let you know what was Dolly Parton lying about it too. I know a lot of people would like to place the whole moniker of liar on me, but for her and I to be saying the exact same thing and have no connection to one another, that speaks volumes to me. Ooh, that's Hollywood for you. That's the entertainment industry for you. I keep trying to tell people the same secrets that I know, other people know. The same things that I have witnessed to and that I have testified to, other people have as well. And I think people have a hard time accepting the fact that there's just certain people that are going to do whatever they got to do to try to force those secrets to stay secret. When I think about Hayden's book and her reluctance to name names, it leaves me to go back to the Diddy trial. See, there was so much reality that got kept out of that Diddy trial. There were so many people that should have testified that did not testify. There are just so much testimony that got excluded, so much evidence that got excluded. And see, all of that was done to keep a narrative going, to try to stop a RICO from happening. Because that RICO would have just opened the door to a whole lot of entertainers being drug into it and most likely convicted. The simple fact that you got Danny Boy doing art of dialogue videos regarding this whole Tupac saga because he sang on a song when he was 15 years old. And yet, nobody is bothering to file charges or to ask why Danny Boy isn't filing charges against Mary J. Blige, which he has already testified to the fact that her, as a grown woman in her mid-20s, flew him as a minor all the way across the country so that she could have relations with him while he was underage. I don't understand. Or the simple fact that people are trying to pretend like that video of Mary J. Blige that they found after the raid of her with Diddy in a threesome with a victim that didn't look so coherent, and her saying, "This is my rite of passage," as she continued on with the sexual humiliation ritual against someone's will. And people want to act like they wasn't talking about that. No. When I think about the damage that the way that trial was handled actually did, because what it did do was convince other survivors that it wasn't safe to come out, that it wasn't safe to tell their story. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, Hayden told all of that, and she still held back names. But the second that they said that she was thinking about coming forward and sharing names, she was gone, just like that. I just got to take a deep breath in and deep breath out just to keep myself cool, because it's so upsetting how these people just brush it all off and keep on pushing, and then we see what's happening, and it's still happening, and the victim machine is still victimizing, and the predator protecting machine is still protecting, and the lies are still lying, and the cover-ups are still covering up. And you know, a lot of people seem to believe that in the midst of this Keefe D trial, that if he's convicted after all of the times Diddy's name has been mentioned, And if they run with the testimony of everything that he shared in the interviews and in the books as true, then that would mean that people would be ready or willing to believe that Diddy was the one that put him up to it, because that's a part of his story as well. A lot of people keep feeling and saying that same thing. If Keefe D goes down for this, Diddy's next. What's wild is, I know Keefe D is lying. I know that he told those stories because he needed to tell those stories to cover his ass for the other things that he had done. I believe that he thought that profit deal was going to hold no matter what. And he was willing to do whatever he had to do, and he ran with some things for clout and to protect other things. But regardless of what I believe, if he's going to be the fall guy no matter what, I pray that it falls right on the diddler's head. I pray that if Keefe D goes down for this, that they come and loop up the diddler and make sure that he serves good time for something. Because Lord knows they let him get away with so much. Please let him be accountable for something. Please, like, I don't even care at this point in time whether or not Keefe D goes to jail for a lie. If it gets the Diddy, if it gets the diddler, then let it be. Because they sat there and they covered up the industry in that trial. So who knows? Maybe Keefe D's conviction will get us something tailor-made to fit for that hip-hop villain. You know, I believe in justice, and I believe in accuracy, and I believe in the truth. I do. But if it's going to take a lie to get Diddy for something, I don't know. I think I'm cool with it. I think I'm cool with it. As much as I hate lies, I think I'd be cool with that. Yeah. The J. Edgar Hoover of hip hop. You better believe it, baby. Like, get him for something. All the harm. Somebody's got to be responsible for something. For something. So yeah, guys, on that note, oh, listen to me. I truly do believe that all lies will be revealed. I believe that. I'm still here. So yeah, guys, that's our weekend wrap up. There's a bunch of other things, and I don't know, I might do a part 2. because there are a couple other things that are going on. But we gonna cut it here for this week so far. Just remember this: all things that happen in the dark, they all come to light. That's part of the reason why you're not gonna ever see me cower and bow down and fall away or just disappear completely, because I gotta keep strong. I gotta keep standing tall. So when it does come to light, people don't forget the lighthouses that have been standing waiting for that moment to happen. I can't take credit for it all, and I wouldn't dare. But I will take credit for standing in the gap when it wasn't popular. So before we go, I just want to acknowledge all of our contributors today. Salute Maria B. Thank you for the jewels. Appreciate you. Stretch and learn. Thank you for the jewels. Appreciate you. Pink. Hey, fantastic. Robin, appreciate you as well. Hold on a second. I don't know why this is giving me so much trouble. Jessel, thank you. Oh, we got people over here gifting memberships. Whoever got a membership, make sure you thank Voice. Thank you so much, Voice, for gifting that membership. Let's see who else we have here. Never Your Angel. Sure enough. Thank you for that. And then we have another membership, another new member, Natasha. I believe you were a member here before. Welcome back. And yeah, I want to thank you all for stopping by today. Salute to everyone over there just kicking it, everyone at the Jaguar Wright show, and everyone here at the Jaguar Wright Effect. For those of you who don't know, we get together every Sunday and every Wednesday, Patreon and Kick, for our deeper, more candid discussions. Feel free to become a member. Join either one of those communities. Patreon is where we, that's kind of like our public message board area. And Kick, we're just building, getting started over there. Salute to our girl Cat over there moderating. Salute to our moderators here, the Jaguar Wright Effect. Auntie Leah, she's been working really hard covering some really tough conversations, like the Nolan Wells conversation, the Carmelo Anthony conversation, the Kendrick Johnson conversation. Make sure you're subscribed to her, our other moderator, Archangel Michael. If you're looking for someone from down under who knows how to keep it real and bring that hardcore truth, please make sure you check him out. And also don't forget our lead producer and my favorite co-host, Wolfgang Amadeus, for Set in the West and Set in LA. There's a lot of great members only content over there, a lot of great commentary, also a couple awesome documentaries that you might want to check out. Yeah, and don't forget, being a member here comes along with its benefits as well. We have some really interesting members only catalog that you might want to check out, and for the most part, we are a members driven platform, and we operate a lot of times. Sometimes we leave the floodgates open, but just grab the membership. That's what I'll say. So on that note, I think we might do a part 2, but we're gonna keep it cute for today. So My name is Jaguar Wright. I want to thank you all for coming by, and yeah, it's a wrap.